Hi there, I'm Cherie.
And I'm Chris.
And we're Technomadia. We have been full-time travelers since 2006 by RVs and boats.
And we've been living in our Bayliner 4788 motor yacht for going on over 2.5 years, or about 2.5 years now.
So we purchased it March 2017. It is currently June 2019. And we're going to share with you some of the things that we don't necessarily like about our Bayliner 4788.
Yeah, we've shared a lot of the pros and the reasons we bought the boat and picked this, but now we're really going to share some of the dark side and the downside.
Every boat is a compromise. There are trade-offs on almost every decision, and this video is by no means saying we don't like our boat. We love our boat. It's time to balance out some of the things we constantly share about how amazing it is.
We'll share the trade-offs that this design has.
I'm staying on the path that I've chosen, straight up. Come my way and I'll see you at the top. 'Cause something's gonna happen in this story, and I can feel it coming, like the rising of the sun. Straight up.
So one of the potential downsides of the Bayliner 4788 is that there are a lot of windows and a lot of doors on this boat. And that means that is a lot of potential for sun getting in and heating up the interior space. That means there's concerns with privacy and having to have all your windows covered. And also means there's a lot of places for your pets to get out if you have pets on board, like we do with our Kiki. So we have to be extra vigilant about making sure all the doors and windows are properly secured to make sure she's staying in when we want her to. And of course, there's critters outside that want to come into your home, so there's lots of things to secure there too.
So there is an upside to all those windows and doors, and well, one is the views. We walked into the salon and had these panoramic views in almost every direction. That's what we fell in love with this boat. Windows everywhere. Love that. And then doors on all sides means it's a lot of options are getting on and off the boat. We can go out the cockpit through here or out either side of the pilot house. So a lot of flexibility there. Now, how did we deal with the cons of all that sun beating down and keeping the bugs out and the cat in? Well, we did have custom screens made to cover the doors so that bugs stay out, cat stays in. We've got window coverings on the outside that block the sun and give a little bit of extra privacy. And then we've got inside screens. So we've managed to compensate. We can keep a lot of the heat out and deal with it, have the views when we want them, and have privacy when we want that. Yeah, another big con of the Bayliner 4788 is right there in its name. It is a Bayliner. It is a coastal cruiser. It is not suited for going offshore, particularly for someplace further away than the Bahamas. It does not have stabilizers to deal with rolly seas, does not have extended fuel tanks to do long substantial passages, does not have a water maker, so you cannot replenish your water supplies without popping into marinas and such. So it is really limited in where it can go.
But the upside is, that's exactly what we purchased the Bayliner for, is for intracoastal cruising, lakes, rivers, and inland cruising and coastal cruising. So it's perfect for our needs. We weren't looking for a passage-making boat. So that is a compromise. When you're looking for a boat, is get it for the purpose that you're wanting to use it for. Now, if we want to go do more extended cruising like in the Bahamas, we can add a water maker. We can make do. We can go to places like that. And if you carefully plan your fuel stops, you can probably even go further afield. But you do need to really carefully watch your weather windows because this boat isn't going to be able to take as heavy seas as a boat purpose-built for passage making. So one of the compromises we made with selecting the Bayliner 4788 over what we originally wanted, which was more of an aft cabin sun deck trawler style, was that all of the berths and cabins are down the same hallway. And that means when we have guests on board, there is a little bit of a lack of privacy between the guest quarters, which does limit our tolerance for having guests on board for more than a few days at a time. But
The upside of all the living space being pushed to the front of the boat is the back has this giant salon and an open cockpit, which we've discovered we actually like that layout more than having an aft cabin with the sun deck. We like having that water level access to the dinghy and everything else. And while we did compensate to make this space a little bit more private, we put in curtains to divide up the hallway so the guest space has private access between the guest room and the guest bathroom and separated out from the rest of the living space. Okay, we're in bed, and here's another con.
Okay, so the master stateroom is in the front of the boat in the V, in the bow. And that does mean that it is compromised in space. We are sitting up in bed. See, our heads are right here.
And yeah, you can really easily get a crick in your neck in certain activities.
Yeah, it is limiting, and let's just say that. It is a crawl around as well, which is a problem for some folks with mobility issues. It hasn't been an issue for us. We're not crawling over each other, unless we want to. And, you know, as far as non-sleeping bedroom activities, you just get creative.
Yeah, there are other rooms.
And that's all I have to say about that.
Yep. One of the negatives for us of the Bayliner 4788 is that it is a go-fast boat. It is a semi-displacement hull designed to go up on plane. And that means, well, the engines, two big engines that need to be run hard every so often. And that's not our style. We like cruising at 7 or 8 knots. And we would have preferred a boat with just a single engine because that's less cost and complexity to maintain and would have had a lot more space in the engine room, too.
But the pro is, we can go fast if we need to. If we need to outrun a storm, if we're in a choppy area and a sound and we just want to push through it, we have the option. Or if we need to get in front or behind of a container ship as we're doing a passage, we can go fast. And, you know, kind of it's fun to go fast. I like it. And by fast, we're going like 16, 17 knots. Okay, so Bayliner is not known as being a high-end yacht. It's a nice mid-level yacht. It is definitely not like this Nordhaven behind us. Those are so sweet. There are some other really sweet builds out there. We have seen a lot of boats since we've been on the water now, and you do get a little envious of some of the finishing touches and the quality that some of the higher-end builds that the Bayliner just doesn't have.
So, of course, the pro of a boat like a Bayliner 4788 is that it is so much more affordable than the high-end brands. You know, our boat is roughly half the price at the same age Nordhaven, even less. And that makes it a lot easier for us to get into this boat and be able to afford the boating lifestyle. And this is still a really good boat. It is still built well, has, in all the important ways, it is a really solid boat. It just might not have as fancy woodwork or fancy metal work or fancy fiberglass work, but it is solid. Now, there's a con to having a mass-produced boat in that they're designed and built to be produced and roll off an assembly line. And this is one of the most mass-produced of boats of its size ever. So designed to be rolled off an assembly line means it's not necessarily designed to be maintained long-term. And a lot of building decisions like, you know, zip tying wires into awkward places and stuff like that make it really tough to maintain sometimes.
Of course, the upside of that is because this boat was mass produced, and for many years they quit producing this version of the boat in, I think, 2008 under the Meridian line. There is a huge owners group and a lot of resources and wisdom to tap into of people who have done the maintenance on a mass-produced boat and can give you tips and tricks, because you can pretty much count on your boat's going to be just like the one over there, and you can share a lot of resources that way. Actually, when we first started looking for the Bayliner, we didn't expect that you could actually get from the aft to the bow on the exterior of the boat. So I was pleasantly surprised that it had this, but this is a very narrow side deck. It's fine if you need to get around your boat and it's calm conditions. I'm not going to be out here in rough conditions at all. And I'm even hesitant when docking to maneuver to do line handling coming up and down here. Now, why is this such a problem other than line handling is, well, the pump out is on the other side of the boat on the side deck midway. If we need an inlet pump out and we happen to be faced with the starboard side out to the water side, well, that means one of us is climbing out on the side deck to bring the pump out hose there. And also the fueling is on the side decks as well. So you do have some accessibility issues on the Bayliner 4788 to do critical tasks like fueling and pumping out.
The upside of that narrow side deck is this super wide salon. And as our neighbors pointed out the other day, it's big enough that you can do ballroom dancing in it. It is a huge space for a boat this size. And we love having the interior space because we spend more time inside than hanging out the side of the boat. One other negative of the Bayliner 4788 is that it is 47 feet long. It is a long boat, a lot longer than we were initially looking for, and a lot longer than we really need. And then when you factor in things like the bow pulpit and the swim platform and the dinghy hanging off the back, it actually works out to be more like 53 feet. And in the boating world, everything is charged by the foot. So you pay for your slip fees, you pay for your haul outs, you pay for bottom paints, so many things you pay by the foot, and a smaller boat would have fit us just fine and would have been cheaper to maintain long term.
The pro, need I say more? A full-size bathtub. And you don't get that in boats of 47 feet very often because the Bayliner is so well laid out. And yeah, we do indulge in this quite often. It's really nice. Even Chris can fit in this bathtub. Not both of us at the same time usually, but. And yeah, some of the other things is, we're constantly testing technology. So the extra space of the third guest cabin, which is part of our stateroom, it's a great storage space for storing all that tech and putting it away when we don't want it in our living room all the time. So having the storage space to put stuff away neatly, usually, not always, is nice.
Limbo.
So, welcome to our spacious engine room.
So, yeah, probably the biggest downside of the Bayliner.
Or the smallest downside.
The smallest downside
biggest.
is this engine room is a crawl space. You literally have to go down a hole in the hallway and crawl down between the two engines with no space, no headroom to barely even sit up to do any sort of work down here.
Which makes it really difficult for both of us to be working on the engines at the same time because we are both mechanically inclined and we both do enjoy engine work. So we kind of have to trade off on it. And
it is claustrophobic in here.
It is. And well, that kind of helps because, one of us usually has to hand tools to the other when we're doing maintenance. And we do try to do a good portion of the maintenance on our own.
But the upside of having such a small engine room as this boat has a very shallow draft for its size. It's 3.5 feet of draft, whereas that Nordhaven behind us is about 5.5 to 6.
And our salon. Did we mention our salon is big? Yeah, and that's where we spend most of our time. Usually on a good day, not in the engine room, not on the side decks. That salon is our office. It is our living space. It is where we spend the majority of our time.
This has been a tour of the pros and cons and the 10 top trade-offs we've discovered after 2 years of living in a 4788.
None of these are showstoppers for us. We have full intentions to have Why Not in our lives for a long time to come. We love our boat and we would still choose the Bayliner 4788 even knowing these downsides.
Yeah, we get asked all the time, would you still pick the same boat? And the answer is yes.
Yes, definitely. Does that mean I'm not drooling over some of these Nordhavens?
Yeah, there's some really fancy. If we had a lot more money, maybe we'd pick something else. But for us, for our budget, this is an awesome
has been a
budget.
Perfect choice so far. We're really happy with our decision. If you like these videos, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. We do these videos just for fun. So, your enthusiasm fuels the next one.